the 106th minute of a World Cup final.
The day a planet stops for a game. Pedro Porro, Williams, and thundered in for Spain by Ferran Torres!
A cross drifts to the far post, a header keeps it alive, and the ball bounces once in front of the most criticized player in Spain. One touch, left foot, under the bar. Ferran Torres kicked down the corner flag while 100 million Argentinians watched their farewell dream die. And that night, standing on the biggest stage football has, with a gold medal around his neck, he said something no world champion should ever have to say. He said, "I've been criticized throughout this whole tournament, but destiny was written." Read that again. Not thank you, not we did it. The first thing that came out of him was the criticism. Because to understand that sentence, you have to go back 6 years to a story about what happens when a country decides who you are before you get the chance to show them. It starts in Foyos, a small town outside Valencia. Ferran joins the Valencia Academy at 6 years old and grows into the jewel of the club, the local kid with the golden right side. By 20, he is not just promising, he is wanted, and the man who comes calling is the same man who appears in every story this channel tells. Pep Guardiola, Manchester City, the biggest football laboratory on earth, and at City, it works. Trophies, goals for Spain, Guardiola even reinvents him as a striker, the way Pep does when he sees something in a player that nobody else sees. Ferran Torres, at 21, looks like the future of Spanish football. Then Barcelona call, and this is where the story turns. January 2022, Barcelona are broke, not struggling, broke. The club is drowning in debt so deep they are selling pieces of their own future just to register players. Messi is gone, the stadium is half empty, and the fans are desperate for one reason to believe again. Into that desperation walks a 21-year-old signed for 55 million euros the club barely had. He is not presented as a signing, he is presented as a savior. And that is the exact weight this channel talked about in the last video. Barcelona does not buy players, it buys symbols, and when a symbol misses a chance, it does not miss like a footballer, it fails like a promise. The chances came, some went in, enough did not, and every miss became a clip, every clip became a meme, and the meme became his identity. Not a young forward adapting to a collapsing club, a punchline, the 55 million mistake. But the misses alone do not explain the hate. Plenty of forwards miss. What made Ferran different was the accusation, because in 2021, Ferran Torres had started dating Sierra Martinez, a professional equestrian and the daughter of Luis Enrique, the manager of Spain. Think about what that means. For 1 second, every single call-up he received now had an explanation that had nothing to do with football, and the manager himself, live on his own Twitch stream, joked about it. Asked which player was his extension on the pitch, Luis Enrique laughed and said, "I would say Ferran, because if not, my daughter kills me." Before the World Cup in Qatar, he joked again, "I may have to pick Ferran, or my daughter will cut my head off." Jokes. Obviously jokes, but jokes from the most powerful man in Spanish football about the most scrutinized young forward in the country. And from that moment, Ferran Torres could not win. Score, and he was picked for family anyway. Miss, and it was proof the family was the only reason he was there. Every performance he ever gave was placed in quotation marks. And how did he respond? Watch the press conferences from that era. No anger, no victimhood. He simply said, "The coach is a joker. We know how to differentiate between family and football." 22 years old, carrying an accusation that erased his entire career, answering it with a straight face. Then, quietly, the story changed. The relationship ended in 2023. Luis Enrique left Spain. Every reason the accusation existed disappeared. So here's the question this whole video hangs on. If the hate was really about favoritism, it should have ended there. It did not. What actually happened is that Ferran rebuilt himself into something Barcelona never asked him to be. Not the savior, the finisher, the shark they started calling him.
The man who enters when the game is dying and kills it. While the cameras followed the stars, he studied the role nobody wants, coming off the bench cold. 10 minutes to change a match. No rhythm, no warm-up touches, no excuses. It is the hardest job in football, and he mastered it in silence. Last season, he finished as Barcelona's joint top scorer in the league, 16 goals. Read that again. The punchline, the 55 million mistake. joint top scorer. And the criticism continued anyway, into this summer, into the World Cup, by his own words, through the whole tournament. Which tells you the thing nobody in Spain wants to say out loud. At some point, the hate stopped being about football. It became a habit. Which brings us back to New Jersey, July 19th, the final. Ferran Torres does not start. Of course he does not start. He watches an hour of the biggest match of his life from the bench, while Spain throw everything at Emiliano Martinez and score nothing. Shot after shot after shot. The greatest final performance without a goal you will ever see. In the 61st minute, he comes on. In the 93rd, Argentina lose Enzo Fernandez to a red card. 10 men, extra time. A wall of blue and white refusing to break. And in the 106th, the move begins. And listen to who builds it. Lamine Yamal collects the ball on the right wing. The kid from our last video, carrying his own impossible weight. He starts to play. Porro crosses. Nico Williams rises and heads it down. And the ball bounces to the one man in that stadium who had spent 6 years being told he did not belong there. One touch, Spain's 20th shot of the night. Argentina, at that moment, had 0. And understand what stood on the other side of that goal. Lionel Messi, in what he had called his final World Cup. 4 minutes from a corner that could have changed everything. Football did not give Messi a farewell. It gave Ferran Torres an answer. And there is no joy in watching the greatest of all time walk away empty-handed. Even Ferran said it. When you have Messi on the other side, you are nervous. But that is exactly what makes this story so heavy. The most doubted man on the pitch ended the era of the most worshipped. Afterward, he did not talk about revenge. He said the goal was scored by 47 million people. He thanked God for the strength to continue. He gave the country that spent 6 years doubting him the only World Cup it has won in 16 years. So we end where the title begins. Why does Spain hate their World Cup hero? Maybe they no longer do. Maybe one left foot in the 106th minute deleted 6 years overnight. Or maybe next season, the first miss in a Barcelona shirt brings all of it back, because habits are harder to kill than narratives. He cannot control that. He never could. All he ever controlled was the next chance. And when the biggest one in the history of Spanish football finally bounced in front of him, the man they refused to believe in needed exactly one touch. The question was never whether Ferran Torres deserved Spain. The question is whether Spain ever deserved Ferran Torres.